In this video, you're going to see Russell Brunson, a green Lamborghini, my first ever body autograph, and how I made £11,000 in just a few days. The time has come to make my way over to Funnel Hacking Live. If you've ever been to the UK, you will know that it rains quite a lot here. So anytime I get the chance to put my roof down, my roof goes down. It's about an hour's drive over to the airport from where I live. Quite a smooth drive, no problems, no traffic luckily. As I was walking in to drop my bags off, I had a bit of a shock and I bumped into the company I used to work for. That is who I used to work for. After checking in my bags, I went over to the duty free and I bought a few books with me. So U Squared, unbelievable book, and another book that I thoroughly recommend is Atomic Habits, which again was an amazing read. Now the flight wasn't quite as smooth as I'd hoped and I had to wait about an hour to get an Uber to the hotel, but finally after over 12 hours, I made it.
I'm so just honored.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, finally made it to Funnel Hacking Live. The flight was smooth until we were approaching Orlando. And then they said there's a bit of a storm, so we have to circle in the air for 45 minutes, which was okay. But then after 45 minutes, they said the airport is closed because the storm has got worse. So we had to be diverted to Tampa. So a flight that should have taken 9 hours took just over 12 hours. But we made it. I'm super excited about FHL. This is my first ever FHL. And I'm gonna share the whole journey with you. So stay tuned. I'm also gonna break down and summarize my top takeaways from the event, what I learned. Let's begin with day one of FHL. I'll be there one day. So right now there's about 1 million people all queuing and we're going to a secret location that Russell and ClickFunnels have organized for you. So stay tuned and I'll let you know what it is.
First off, we're so glad to have you guys all here. I love all you all. I'm excited to be here hanging out with you guys.
So here we are in SeaWorld with a whole bunch of other 2 Comma Club winners and amazing entrepreneurs. Just finished my ice cream. And this is what happens, so stay tuned. I'll tell you all about it because it might get a little bit messy and loud. We're just getting on. Everyone's scared, but let's see. We are going up and up. Good morning. So the time is just before 7 and I'm heading for a workout, start the day right. And it's gonna be a big exciting day today. So gonna get the energy right. So I'll see you guys in a bit. So that's the gym done. Start the day. So behind me we have the ClickFunnels Wall of Fame. So this is everybody on the floor who has ever won a 2 Comma Club award and above. So let's see if you guys can find my name.
Barack Obama ran for president. What's up? 3, 2, 1.
Make sure you surround yourself with winners. There was a time where I thought 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month was
an insane amount of money, until I surrounded myself with people that were making 100 grand a month. And all of a sudden it raises your level, it raises your game and forces you to think bigger. Environment is everything. Almost there, nearly made it to the stage. It's just behind me now.
Stas, Prokofiev.
So we just got to the awards lunch. So this is the winner's lunch. So everybody that won an award, you can see them all behind me. And Russell's going to get up on that stage and do a little speech, I guess. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'll keep you posted. I'm going to sit down, connect with loads of great business people, find out what they're doing. This room is worth $1 billion. Like, the connections in this room are worth so much. And I will share with you everything that I learned from this room. And the key takeaways, so stay tuned for that. So just like that, FHL is over, and wow, what a week it has been. I have been running to the front and I don't run. I've been high-fiving everyone and I don't high-five. I have been screaming and shouting, so my voice is a little bit croaky, and I've got so much swag and merchandise. I am fully converted. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down my key takeaways from this event, what I learned, and exactly what I'm gonna do in my business moving forward. So let's jump back to the office and I will share everything with you. But before I do that, a huge thanks to Russell, to Todd, the whole of the ClickFunnels team, and everybody who I met and I connected with. Great to meet every single one of you. So let's jump back to the office and put some swag on. Wait, hang on a minute. I know what you're thinking. That does not look like you're back in the office. And you're right, I'm not. I've had to make a little detour here in Greece, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm doing here in just a moment. But before I do that, I need to have some orange juice and my morning coffee and just take in these views. Look at these unbelievable views. I really don't think the camera does it justice. This is one of my favorite destinations that I've ever been to, and probably one of my favorite hotels. So I'll do another video covering exactly what I'm doing here and exactly how I even got here. So stay tuned for that. But for now, let's enjoy some orange juice, and then I will really take you back to London and give you a full breakdown of everything that I learned at FHL. Here we are, finally back in London, back in the office, and wow, where do I even start? What can I say? Funnel Hacking Live was absolutely unbelievable. Most of the time it felt like you're just at a party. It was incredible energy, incredible atmosphere, so huge shout out to Russell, to Todd, all of the ClickFunnels team. You guys do an amazing job. It's actually really inspired me to maybe do my own events over here in the UK. So look, without further ado, I wanna give you my top 3 takeaways, because I got to spend a lot of time with some top entrepreneurs. So people that are doing, tens of millions, some even hundreds of millions a year. And there was a few key things that I noticed that they had a very similar trait. Now, we'll start with point number 1. The first point is to know your numbers. And I know that sounds very simple, and I know you're probably thinking, yes, of course, Stas, that's one of the first things you do, but think about it. Do you know your numbers? How frequently do you measure your numbers? Because I know what it's like. When you have a great month, you kind of lose track and you think everything's going well. The minute you have a slow month or a declining month, you start to go really deep on the numbers. What I've realized is the top entrepreneurs and business owners, they know their numbers. Doesn't matter what's happening, okay? So knowing your numbers is key. You have to know how many leads you're generating them up. You have to know your opt-in rate, your conversion rate, your no-show rate, your close rate, all of these things, your attendance rate if you have a webinar. So you need to find your 5 to 7 key metrics, your KPIs, and then work on those. Because if you don't know your numbers, you don't know where your downfall is. And if you don't know where your downfall is, you can't get to work on fixing it. It's the equivalent of trying to run a business blind. It's all about the numbers. If you've ever watched Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, for all of our American viewers, they all really focus heavily on the numbers. How many units have have you sold? How long has this been going for? It's all about the numbers. So point number one is know your numbers. The second point that I realized, and us entrepreneurs, we are very creative. We want to do a million things at once. And if you're anything like me, you try to have lots of spinning plates on spinning plates on spinning plates. But what I realized is that less is more. And what I mean by that is focus on one thing at a time. The top entrepreneurs, the people that are doing tens of millions or even 9 figures, they focus on one thing at a time. They perfect it and then they move on to the next thing. Whereas it's very easy to get shiny object syndrome, to get distracted over here and over here and over here. Yes, there are a million things you can do, but you don't need to and you shouldn't do them all at once. So less is more. And this is where overwhelm comes in, burnout comes in, because we're focusing on too many things at the same time. But what I realized is if you focus on one thing at a time, not only are you more productive, but you also get far more done in the space of a year or even half a year. So point number 2 is less is more. Focus on one thing at a time rather than try and multitask, because multitasking seems to be a bit of a myth. And the final one, number 3, is the thing that you are avoiding the most will probably make the most difference. So you know how as entrepreneurs, we all have this thing that, we know we need to do this thing that's gonna get us to the next level, that's gonna get us that next, target that we're aiming for, that's gonna grow our business, grow our audience, but we're avoiding it. And we know in the back of our mind, we're avoiding it because maybe we're not good at it. Maybe, we don't know how to do it. But the thing that we avoid the most is probably the thing that's gonna move us forward the most. So with myself, I'll tell you a story. A few years ago, I received a user level ban from Facebook for no fault of my own, and my world came crumbling down. I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. My business is ruined. And I knew for probably about a year, I focused nothing but organic traffic. I didn't do any paid advertising because I had a limiting belief about ads, and I was avoiding it and avoiding it and avoiding it. And guess what? The minute we went back to paid advertising, things took off. So doing the thing that you are putting off the most is probably the thing that's going to move your business forward the most. Oh, and I almost forgot my first ever body autograph. So the story goes, Dan Henry was there with his new book and he was signing the book. And I made a stupid passing comment saying, hey, why don't you sign my pec area? So he said, all right. And then the next day he found me and he said, remember what you said yesterday? And I'm a man of my word, so I had to let him sign the designated area. So that was quite funny, and I had to pretty much follow through on what I said. And finally, you might be thinking, well, Stas, how did you make £11,000 in those few days while you were away? And it's very simple. You see, we have an amazing team. We have an amazing structure and we have an amazing system. So it does not matter how much time I take out of the office, the structure and the systems that we have in place allow the business to keep moving forward and grow. And I like to compare this in 4 stages. The first thing is your offer. You have to make sure your offer is good. It's something that people want. It's something that is irresistible and not something that is a nice to have. Once you've got that nailed, you then move on to the traffic. Okay, how are you going to get traffic to that offer? Are you going to use paid? Are you going to use organic? What are you going to do with the traffic side of things? Then you move on to the sales system. So how are you going to sell it? Is it high ticket? Are you selling over the phone? Is it a landing page? Have you got a webinar? Have you got a VSL? Have you got a case study? So then you get that nailed. And once you've got those 3, so offer, traffic and sales, and once you start selling some units of your offers and products and services, the next step and the final step in the equation is to scale. Okay, how are we now going to scale this? And when you come to scale, it usually works in layers, but we don't have time to go into scaling on this video, but I will be releasing more videos on exactly how we scaled our business to 6-figure months. And this is the same principles that we teach our clients. In fact, when I got back from FHL, one of our clients had messaged me to say he just hit £50,000 a month, which is amazing. So there'll be a success interview coming out. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that. And also, I recorded the full uncut behind the scenes of the 2 Comma Club Award. So the stuff that happens backstage in the room, all the other entrepreneurs that are there. So I'm gonna be releasing another video and sharing exactly from start to finish how you get the 2 Comma Club awards. So make sure you stay tuned for that. As always, hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you've ever been to Funnel Hacking Live yourself, drop me a comment. What was your biggest takeaway? What was your biggest learning? And how was your experience? Because my experience was unbelievable. I absolutely loved it. And it's taught me to think bigger. It's taught me to do bigger and better things. And I can't wait to get to implementing all of the stuff that I learned on my business. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.